In today's videos, we're going to talk about how do I calculate the return on investment that comes from marketing. So I want to keep this video simple today. We're going to just dive right into it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. First of all, talking about why would you want to calculate the return on investment in marketing? Obviously, you want to see if the investment dollars that you're putting in are actually leading to profit and where also you need to put your marketing budget. So you're obviously going to want to run this formula for each segment of marketing. So if you're running Facebook ads, you'd want to run this separately to see what you're getting. If you're running Google ads, if you're doing SEO, all of these you would need to factor in. So jumping into the actual formula, the formula goes like this. Profit equals lifetime value of a client, LTV, minus CPA, cost per acquisition, and then you multiply that number times the number of clients that you obtained. So we're going to go and we're going to talk about each one of those ideas. Profit, that's simple. That's going to be how much money you made off of your marketing. And then lifetime value is a little bit trickier. Lifetime value should be the amount of dollars that come in each time that you make a sale or obtain a client. What's tricky about it is the lifetime part. This is a mistake that a lot of people make. They may tend to calculate how much a client is worth based off the first interaction. But most clients, and in almost every business, in very rare exceptions to this, they're going to purchase from you more than once. They're going to purchase from you various times. And this is in probably most businesses. So you don't want to measure off of just that first purchase, but on how much a client is worth over a lifetime. Some clients, some people have calculated it only based upon the first interaction, and on the first interaction, the first sale, that they actually lose money. But because the lifetime value, like a subscription, is so high, they're able to go ahead and spend that money on the marketing, even though the first sale is less than what they're spending. So lifetime value is over the lifetime of the client, how many dollars came in. Next, you're going to subtract from that this CPA, the cost per acquisition. Now, this is simply a way of saying how many dollars did I have to spend on the marketing to obtain that client. So this is not actually a lead CPA that we're talking about. This is how much did it cost. So for example, if we had a lead come in, and it cost $50, but we only close on every 3 leads and make a sale, that's $150. So let's say our lifetime value is $200 per client, and it cost us $150 to actually close on that client. So that means each client costs $50. Now we multiply that times how many clients we got, and that gives us our actual profit. A few things to keep in mind about CPA. CPA can be rather tricky because when we have different types of marketing that we're doing, they all sort of tie together. So for example, we might be running Google ads, but then we're running a retargeting campaign with Facebook. So you have to deal sensitively and split up the cost per acquisition sometimes by combining the different platforms. Another tricky one is SEO. SEO is tricky because a lot of times it's hard to quantify exactly how or what came in through SEO. So in that case, you would need to set up a lot of tracking, and you need to set up UTM parameters and links, and then call tracking. So you could know something came from SEO, for example, on your Google business profile, if you put a separate tracking number. And then, you're going to want to use different modes of tracking to assure where the marketing dollars actually came from. Sometimes it probably also behooves you to take all your marketing as well, combine what you're spending together, combine it all together, and then use that entire metric to obtain, here's how many dollars I spent, here's how many clients I got, this is the CPA, and this is the lifetime value. And that's going to just give you an if your marketing picture is too complex. But in general, we can segment and separate those things out in our journey by using Google Analytics, by using UTM parameters, call tracking, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the key to understanding the profit is in the tracking. If you're not tracking your conversions, your leads, if you're not tracking where calls or sales are coming from, and you're flying blind, you can't make this calculation. Therefore, you can't know where your marketing is working and whether or not it's profitable. So if you're not doing that, then you need to do that. And so what this is going to help you to do is look at your different marketing metrics and determine which one of those is profitable, which one of those should I try to scale. Maybe I need to try something different or cut out something. Like, let's say that you find out that Facebook ads is really only giving you just a little bit of profit on what you're spending, but then Google Ads maybe is giving you a 4-to-1 return on investment. And so I want to put more money into that. Facebook only gives me 0.5 return on investment. We're just going to use it for retargeting. So all these things are super important if you want to actually find out what the profit for your marketing is. And that's where I'm going to come in here and close. If you are interested in figuring out where the leaks are in your business, we've got a free leak calculator. So you can go in, you can plug in the number of leads that you're getting, you can plug in your information. And if you're leaking money, if your business is leaking money and you could be making more revenue, our leak calculator will help you to do that. Now you can find the description of the link below. It's hiveleadmarketing.com, and there's a call to action button there for the leak calculator. Just click on that. You can go in, you can fill that out, and you can take a look at our leak calculator. Once again, it's very important to measure, and measure again. Don't be afraid to do it.